What's going on, everyone? Thrift Barrnger here with Richard Holdridge, and it is time. We are finally here. No more talk. No more what if this happens, what if that happens. We have the table set for all four classifications for deciding who's going to be state champions. Thrift Barrnger here, Richard Holdridge, your voices for GIAA.TV, and we got a great show in store for you today. We got 1A and 3A here at the Lumpkin Center at Columbus State today. Tomorrow's 2A and 4A. We're going to preview 1A and 3A today. We'll do 2A and 4A tomorrow. But, Richard, we've had so much fun. We've been here at Columbus State, but we were talking with Brett Taylor. He said the 1A and 2A games were fantastic over at Bruton Parker, and we're excited about them championship today.
It is championship day today, and I am just excited to be here. And it all comes down to this, the 1A and 3A championships today, which will be tipping off in about an hour and 15 minutes, but we got this show started, and we had some fantastic matchups last night in 2A and 4A.
Yeah, and we're going to review those. Thank you for reminding me. We're going to review and then preview. So a lot we're going to get into, but I gotta say this, Richard. We're presented by the Beck Center. Beck Center,
That's right.
Roger Beck presenting all GIAA state championships, and we appreciate him. But like you said, just a lot of fun, and let's go ahead and tell you that tonight we have 1A and 3A starting at 3 o'clock. We'll have games going on all day today. Here's the deal, $39.99. You heard me right. $39.99 is the cost to be able to watch not only all games today, but all games tomorrow. So when you're paying that $39.99, you're getting access to 8 games in 2 days. That is an incredible price, Richard. That's $5 a game. Come on. You know you got to do that. So make sure you sign up now and get that to be able to watch all classification state championship games on GIAA.TV. You cannot beat that price anywhere else, Richard.
No, not at all. When you're talking about getting the deal and watching a top quality broadcast that has different camera angles, instant replay, game day commentators, it doesn't get any better than this. And we've got some fantastic championship games coming your way.
Yeah, we do, Richard, and we're excited to be able to preview and review those. We're going to take a quick break. When we come back, we're going to review what happened last night and more here on Inside the GIAA Ultimate Pregame Show on GIAA Facebook page and YouTube channel.
This copyrighted broadcast. This copyrighted broadcast, presented exclusively on GIAA.TV, is copyrighted by the Georgia Independent Athletic Association, a division of the Georgia Independent School Association, for the private use of our audience. It may not be retransmitted, reproduced, rebroadcast, or otherwise distributed or used in any form without the express written consent of the Georgia Independent School Association. GIAA.TV now brings you more live coverage of more sports than ever before. Announcing GIAA.TV Lite with live coverage of swim, wrestling, cheer, and more. GIAA.TV Lite is the next best thing to being there. From one screen, you will hear the crowd, see the action, the scores, the stats, and more. With no play-by-play or instant replays, GIAA.TV Lite is half the price of our regular broadcast. Announcing GIAA.TV Plus. With all of your fan favorites, GIAA.TV Plus now adds volleyball, softball, all-star football, and more, featuring all the play-by-play, instant replays, multiple angles, and more, all for less than the cost of 2 adult tickets to the event. Don't miss 1 second of the action all year long, only on GIAA.TV.
Welcome back, everyone, to Inside the GIAA Pregame Show Championship Friday and Saturday here at the Lumpkin Center. Thrift Barrnger and Richard Holdridge, and we are presented by the Beck Center. Thank you to Roger Beck and the Beck Center for being our presenting sponsor. And 2A classification for the girls, we got an upset.
Yes, we do.
Brentwood, who loses, the number 1 seed loses to the number 4 seed, Trinity Christian. Unbelievable, Richard. Is now Trinity Christian in the championship. We thought we were going to get Central Fellowship in Brentwood. No, we are getting now Trinity Christian and Central Fellowship. Let's first start with the upset. How about that? Trinity Christian in the championship game. And they're the 5 seed, by the way. So this is consecutive upsets they've had over the 4 and the number 1 seed.
Yeah, the number 5 seed, which means they didn't get the bye, that they had to play in the first round. And sometimes that break just kind of throws your game off a little bit. And so Trinity Christian, riding with momentum, takes down the number 1 seed Brentwood. What an upset. And I can't wait. Trinity Christian out of Dublin, getting the big win and playing in the championship tomorrow.
All right, and now let's move on, Richard, to the other game. And this was a smoke show. Central Fellowship won by 30 points, 62-32, as they take down Southwest Georgia, the number 2 seed out. So the top 2 teams in the 2A girls classification are gone.
Wow.
And that leaves Trinity Christian versus Central Fellowship. That's going to be a lot of fun. We'll see that. That's the kickoff game on Saturday tomorrow at 3 p.m. But how about the win by Central Fellowship, Richard? We thought this all along they were the team to beat.
Yeah, I think that Central Fellowship able to get a big win over Southwest Georgia. And now we got the number 3 seed Central Fellowship taking on the number 5 seed Trinity Christian. Anything can happen in the 2A classification. We do know we're going to get a new champion in the 2A classification because Piedmont no longer in 2A. They went up to 3A, and they lost to Westminster Schools of Augusta.
There we go.
So we're going to have a new champion crowned.
2A boys, Heritage. Hello. It sounds like familiar territory, right?
Yeah.
3 straight years, Coach Job Jerome is going to be in the championship. Here's the thing, though. They've lost the last 2. This year, they're in a lower classification. Remember, they lost in overtime to Lakeview. We were on the call for that. It was a lot of fun. Heritage takes down Brentwood, so they're done. Great win for Heritage. They ended up winning by double digits. That was a back-and-forth game. We were watching it while calling some of the other games last night. So they won. And then Furtop Prep, they dominated Augusta Prep. And Furtop Prep, the reigning champion, is back in it. So we got Heritage versus Furtop Prep, the one we circled when we started the playoffs. That will be at 4:40 tomorrow on Saturday. But what about the wins by Heritage and Furtop Prep, Richard?
Yeah, we're either going to get a back-to-back champion and Furtop Prep, or we're going to get Heritage finally getting over the hump and winning a championship. I tell you, Furtop Prep, the pride of Ackworth, got a lot of international players on their team last year. I would not be shocked if those players are still back. Furtop Prep is a very small school right there in Ackworth. I actually know where it's at, and they are just passionate fans. And what can you say about Heritage? I mean, Heritage has got a lot of great athletics. Their volleyball team won a championship. Yep. Their baseball team is always good, and I think that helped them making that move down to 2A. They used to be a 3A school in a 4A division.
Yeah.
So Heritage, Furtop Prep, I cannot wait for that matchup.
Now let's go to 4A girls. Athens Christian and George Walton. Man, what a fantastic game that was. It went down to the wire. George Walton got down, and they came all the way back. Credit to head coach for George Walton, who has now been in the Final Four 3 straight years. Head coach Lori Hines winning the championship last year, lost to Pacelli, won the championship 2 years ago. She has been sensational. And this team, led by Leela Mathis and Ashley Hill, those 2 players who were seniors, they've been starting since they were freshmen, Richard, and they were sophomores, winning championships. These girls go down as one of the greatest tandems in George Walton history. The Lady Bulldogs come up short in what was a fantastic finish as Athens Christian and head coach Jeff Bond in their first year in the GIAA heading to the championship. What a win for them. And then on the flip side, Pacelli, they made ends meet of Stratford. They went wire to wire and dominating. Michaela Holsley, the reigning GIAA Player of the Year, 30 points last night. And the defending GIAA champions who have won 28 straight GIAA games have not lost since the Elite Eight back in 2023. That's 2 years since they lost to a GIAA team. They're taking on Athens Christian for the right to be back-to-back champions. What can you say about Pacelli and Athens Christian?
Pacelli, the defending GIAA champions, they've picked up where they left off. They have not lost a GIAA game in 2 years. And I know that Stratford Academy had a good record. They're in a tough division. But I think that Pacelli was on a mission to try to get back to the championship. Michaela Hosley is just hard to contain. 30 points, was completely dominant in the paint, and it was just the guard play, forcing the turnovers. That was the key for Pacelli to get on that run. You got to give credit to Stratford, a team led by Coach Ed Smith. They went 9-19 last year to turn it around and go 23-3. I mean, that is a huge accomplishment. Stratford Academy has had a great season. There's nothing to hang their heads on, but this was Pacelli's night last night.
No doubt about it. And then for George Walton, what can you say about their performance? Great job battling back. They were down 11-1, came back, down again late in the second half, came back, and that's at the heart of a champion. That's a great coach team, but Jeff Bond and his Athens Christian Lady Golden Eagles are heading to the championship.
Yeah, you got to give credit to George Walton for battling back in that game. Coach Lori Hines is a veteran coach, has got her team there before, but this was Athens Christian's night. I mean, they, coming from the GHSA, they went to the Final Four last year. Coach Vaughn has got a great team, and it starts with their post player, Marlene Milbolina, who was absolutely fantastic.
Yes,
she averages 18 points and 12 rebounds a game. She's getting multiple D1 offers. This is going to be just a fantastic matchup. You know, George Walton is going to be back, although they're losing their seniors, Ashley Hill, who had a fantastic game herself. She had 14 points. And then also Leela Mathis. I mean, these girls, like you mentioned, Thrift, they know how to win. They're going to go on to the next level. But George Walton, in the same region with Athens Christian, I mean, these two teams are going to be battling for years to come.
All right, let's go to the 4A boys classification. We had another great game. Cristo Ray and Athens Christian end on a free throw attempt as Athens Christian gets fouled at the end, knocks down a free throw, and Athens Christian takes down Cristo Ray in what was a fantastic game. 61-60 was the final score in that. And Athens Christian and head coach Dan Lampy, they're in the championship game in their first year in the GIAA, and they're setting up. Look at this. And 4A, Athens Christian girls, Pacelli boys. Athens Christian boys, Pacelli boys. So either one team, we could have two different schools winning it, or we could have one school sweeping it like Pacelli did last year, and they're trying to go back-to-back, both boys and girls, consecutively. That's going to be really impressive. But what a job by Athens Christian to come back and win a game against Cristo Ray. But I was really impressed with Jaden Ford, who was the leading scorer, averaging 25 a game for Cristo Ray. He was sensational yesterday. He had over 20. We had a lot of fun with that one, didn't we?
Yeah, it was a great battle between Jaden Crawford and Aiden Miller for Athens Christian. Aiden Miller had 23 points. Jaden Crawford for Cristo Ray had 27 points. But I really think that the Athens Christian, the size really was the big difference because success in Mwabade, which I think I got that right.
In
Mwabade was, even though he didn't show on the score sheet, he was dominant in the post. Sometimes you need a big rim protector. Cristo Ray, they have the athletes. They can run up and down the floor, but the size down low proved victorious for Athens Christian going to the championship.
Unbelievable job. And then Pacelli and Tatnall. We had a great game. First half, low scoring, 21-16. In the second half, Tatnall took the first lead on Pacelli. It's the first time Pacelli's been down against a GIAA school since last year against Brookstone. And it's been some time. But, man, what a job by Pacelli. And after that, Coach Thomas called a timeout. Tatnall's leading late in the second half. And guess what? Pacelli just went on an incredible run. They ended up winning the game by 29 points. Makai Williams had the ball dunk-ons. It's going to go viral. I mean, he just took the gravity right out of the Lumpkin Center. It was an incredible play. And Pacelli moves on back to the championship, their third straight state championship appearance, and with a new coach in Calvin Thomas. Can't wait to see the Golden Eagles and the Vikings on Saturday night, prime time, to bring and finish out championship weekend.
This truly was a team effort by Pacelli. Like you mentioned, they were down 23-22 to Tatnall Square. It was Anton Johnson who got a big shot, and we could just feel the Tatnall crowd behind us.
Yeah.
They were on fire. They felt like that they could possibly take over this gymnasium and Tatnall could maybe pull off the upset. But something happened where Pacelli, I don't know if it was a switch that flipped, but Pacelli went on one of the most incredible runs as far as dominating on defense, getting transition buckets. And it was not just Makai Williams. It was a team effort from Jalen Bush, who had 17 points.
Doubt.
You had Michael Rowe with 14 points. You had Matthew Melvin that had 13 points. And then how about just the defensive effort? Makai Williams, I don't know if a lot of people in the GIAA know who Makai Williams is. This guy not only
they do now. I promise you that, Richard.
He was a physical, dominant post player on the defense as well, had some huge blocks.
And I got to tell you this, Richard. This Pacelli team, they're ranked 24th in the state of Georgia. I don't know if there's 23 teams better than them. Now, they may be 5 or 6, maybe 10, but 23, this is one of the best teams in any league. They are so incredibly dominant. It's going to take an incredible performance from Athens Christian, but in Wabade, Aiden Miller, and then Christian Hubbard, who's a leading scorer and putting up 17 and 10. He didn't even have a good game against the Final Four. They have him come back. They have what it takes, and they have the athletic ability and size to be able to keep up with the Pacelli. We're going to take a break. When we come back from break, we're going to preview today's championship games. We got 1A girls and boys first, followed by 3A girls and boys. We're going to talk about all 4 of those games and wrap it up here on the pregame show on GIAA.tv.
Founded in 1985, the Georgia Independent School Association proudly represents nearly 170 accredited private, independent, and parochial schools across the state. From Tallulah Falls to St. Simon's Island, from Columbus to Augusta, our schools serve over 76,000 students every year. Whether parents are interested in smaller class sizes, more individual attention, a religious-based curriculum, or a safe and structured environment, the GISA provides a strong education, which is the foundation for success. To learn more about the GISA and how they can serve your school, visit us online at www.gisaschools.org.
This copyrighted broadcast, presented exclusively on GIAA.tv, is copyrighted by the Georgia Independent Athletic Association, a division of the Georgia Independent School Association, for the private use of our audience. It may not be retransmitted, reproduced, rebroadcast, or otherwise distributed or used in any form without the express written consent of the Georgia Independent School Association.
Back here, Thrift, Barrnger, Richard Holdridge. Let's talk about now the state championship games today. At 3 o'clock, started off, we got Robert Toombs, who upset number 1 Fullington on Wednesday at Bruton Parker, taking on St. George, the number 2 seed. We got 2 versus 4. What are you looking forward to with this one, Richard, at 3 p.m. here at the Lumpkin Center?
Well, the defending single A champion, Robert Toombs, I think that they got a good shot at pulling off another upset to try to go back-to-back. St. George, they are a very good team, though. They are the number 2 seed. I know they feel like the number 1 seed is out, so they should be the favorite. But I would not count out Robert Toombs because even though they were the 4 seed, you know, you look at their record. They play a lot of competition that's higher classification, and that's always been the case with Robert Toombs. And I think Robert Toombs gets another victory, and they go back-to-back.
They made it last year, and I think they got the experience this year. I'm going with you. I think it'll be Robert Toombs, but it's going to be a lot of fun. 3 p.m. is the time of the game. And then later on, after that at 4:40, we got FPCA and Citizens Christian, number 1, number 2, chalk. In this one, I've been high on Citizens Christian all year. I think they're going to be cutting down the nets, but I would not be shocked if FPCA pulls off the upset. These 2 teams are very evenly matched. It's really a coin toss how this one can play out. But I'm excited about it. I know you are too. 4:40 today. Citizens Christian and FPCA for the 1A state championship.
Well, this is what you want if you're a basketball fan. The number 1 versus number 2 seed. And we're finally going to get it in the single A boys championship. I'm going to go out on a limb here, and I'm going to say that First Preparatory Christian is going to get the win and get crowned champions.
All right, let's go to 3A. The defending champion, Lakeview Lady Lions, are taking on John Millage, the Cinderella story that's left right now in all classification. The lowest seed remaining in all 4 classifications is number 7, John Millage. If they win tonight, they would finish the regular season with a losing record, but it's not about what you do during the regular season. It's how you finish. And this team played an incredibly tough schedule. They're in the toughest district in the entire,
yes, they are.
With Piedmont and Lakeview. I mean, they play so many talented teams. John Millage and Lakeview. It's going to take an incredible performance from Kayla Foston, who was a rebounding machine in that win over Westminster. The defense of Lucy Elliott. And then how about the playmaking and scoring of Pierce Moore, the freshman? They're going to need all 3 of them to step up and others to take down the talented and deep Lakeview Lady Lions. I think it's going to be a little too much. I'm leaning Lakeview, but I've been so impressed with John Millage and what they've done with their coach who is done a great job, Jordan Walters, over at John Millage in her 2nd season. And what an incredible job.
Incredible. John Milledge had the key ingredients. They knew how to shut down India Williams. She had 27 points, but nobody else on the team scored. Lucy Elliott did a phenomenal job just slowing her down. This is going to be a different beast because Lakeview, not only are they the defending champions, they know how to win. Dynasty Putman, that is going to be the player that probably Lucy Elliott is going to guard. But you have size down low, Talia Gaither. She is going to be just a tremendous post player. And I think that John Milledge is going to keep it close. I think that Pierce Moore is going to come out hot. But I like Lakeview, and I think they win their back-to-back championship.
Brookwood and St. Andrews and the boys. Brookwood, the #1 team, 28-2, taking on St. Andrews, who took down Lakeview in what was a classic on Wednesday. This one's going to be a lot of fun. #1 versus #2. In the rankings, St. Andrews #1, Brookwood's #2. But in the seedings, Brookwood's #1, St. Andrews #2 really don't matter. It just really did. All that's saying is who's going to wear white and who's going to wear their alternate away jersey. So I'm going to take. This is tough. Nate Van Dyne had a battle in a defensive struggle against Deerfield. St. Andrews couldn't hit a shot early, and Zayden Edwards hit the game winner. Mel Abrams versus Nate Van Dyne, two elite coaches. I don't know where to go with this one. I really think it's up for grabs, and I'm so excited to be on the call for this one at 8 p.m. tonight, Richard.
I think Brookwood's got a slight advantage. They've got some guards, and Jordan Jean and Thomas Levi Williams that can hit a big shot. I think that St. Andrews relies heavily on Zayden Edwards, but I'm really excited about seeing that matchup down low between Jakari Glover, Miles Cummings for St. Andrews going up against Walker Jackson, the 6'10 power forward he's just a tremendous post player, but he could also just kick it out and get a mid-range jumper. I mean, he's got a sweet selection on his shot, but he can also block shots, rebound, and that's what you want in a post player. I think Brookwood wins, and they get a championship.
Tomorrow we'll be back here right around the same time, and we'll preview all the games. We'll review tonight's championships. We'll preview tomorrow's. We've had a lot of fun here at Columbus State. We got 2 more days. We're crowning champions on GIAA.TV starting at 3 p.m., $39.99 a cost. Look, music being played.
Yeah,
That's
we got to go.
It's game time, baby. We'll see you a little bit on GIAA.TV.